Kay, Intuitive Wise Woman and Empath, and welcome to my channel, Willow Wise Woman. This is my debut video, and I have been working to get a YouTube channel for about 3 years. But today seemed to be the day to do it. I'm an empath, and what that means is I feel, sense, and hear energy. So sometimes I hear it in my ear, or just a knowing. Information kind of just comes to me, and then I interpret as information that I can't quite explain to you as to why I have it. I can feel it in my body. I can sense energy, and I can sense feelings, emotions, things like that. And so with everything going on right now, especially with this fear that's happening around the world, I have been really feeling a little heavy in my energy. And it took me a couple days to figure out as to why. I try not to listen to a lot of the media and things like that because I don't want the impressions. Now, I need to state right away that I am not a physician on any level. I do not have a PhD, and I am not a scientist, nor do I have any kind of science background or medical background. That being said, I'm an intuitive. And, you know, there's a lot of fear and anxiety going around the world. People are freaking out, and they're wondering what's going on with this virus and so on and so forth. And I was getting impressions yesterday and being pulled to do a card spread. I use tarot and oracle to help me connect. Usually I do that in like general settings of the energy, and then for readings for, you know, your astrological signs or love and relationship, career sectors, all those things. This was more about finding out what was going on a spiritual level. Why is this happening? And to try to help people understand on a spiritual aspect what's going on. And I was getting a lot of information prior to doing the cards, and I use the cards just more of a clear communication aspect, and then also confirmation. So I did a deck called Using the Shaman Oracle, the Truth Seeker Guide. And I'm using this because I felt really pulled to use this specific deck. One, for the very reasons that the shamans are very intuitive and very environmental. Also, you know, I have a shaman background as well. So I wanted to talk to you today about what's going on spiritually and how I think this is connected to our environment and the critical things that we need to look at environmentally. So I pulled a couple of cards first, and the first card was the Shaman of Birth. And what that is saying to me in this energy about the virus and what's going on spiritually, and I get intuitively this is about the environment, that this is about a birth, a new chapter, an awakening, and that preserving our humanity, right? And the second card I got was the Ancestor of Protection, which tells me that we are protected by angels, ancestors, guides, God, and that this is about preserving the environment. And I say that because I feel intuitively that with everything coming to a halt, where travel, gatherings, big events are being paused, suspended, or moved to a later date, this is going to have a massive impact environmentally on us when it comes to the emissions in our environment when it comes to these uh, fossil fuels and the way that we're using our energy resources. Now, again, I'm not an environmentalist either, as far as I have no education or background in those things. I am an intuitive, wise woman who understands that connecting with our soul, with our spirit, with God, with divine and understanding and ebbing and flowing in the connection of the earth is part of our human experience and how important it is for us to be whole in all of those aspects. And so, why are these things happening, and environmentally, what are they going to bring to us is really the message that I want to bring. And the first card in the layout after those first two, which is just kind of telling us the energy and the whys, the first card is Ancestor of Tribes. And that's talking about community. It's talking about unity, us coming together as individuals, us coming together as a family unit, us coming together as a nation, and realizing that we are so much better together in a space of peace, love, and what this can bring us in a positive aspect than we are separate, okay? So it's going to give us the opportunity to have more time to be human instead of going to work every day and, focusing on A, B, C, and D and what's happening tomorrow and next week. This is going to slow us down enough to kind of wake us up. Wake us up to what? Ancestor of Illusion. The Ancestor of Illusion talks about really knowing the difference between reality and the illusion. I believe the media is giving out fear and illusion and, this panic, and having the understanding of truth. What's the truth and what's being a distraction from the truth, and returning to reality. And the reality is that we must also be connected, unified, and take care of our environment for our own survival, okay? When we understand that we are part of the solution to the environmental issues that we are facing, the spirit of empowerment comes into play. And that's about what can we do? What can we do, even if it's just little old you? So for me, I run an environmentally safe business. I use environmentally safe products. I use them in my home. I use them in my business. I recycle. I try to be very conscientious about how I use our resources. I honor and respect the cycles of our world, of our earth, of seasons. And this is about understanding enlightenment, empowerment, awareness of what's happening environmentally. And then from there, what can we do? The tenacity to succeed, to change, to shift, to wake ourselves up, not only on a spiritual level, but on an environmental level. And let's get some stuff done. Let's change some things that we're doing. Let's go to solar power. Let's reduce the emissions. Let's, exchange the energy that we use. Again, I'm not an environmentalist, so I don't really understand the full impact, but I understand enough that if I recycle, that helps. If I drink water from a Brita versus a bottled water, I'm helping. I know that when I use a refillable water, that I'm helping my environment. I know that when I use a low emissions vehicle or a vehicle that has a larger capacity for miles per hour, I'm saving our environment. The little bitty things that I do make an impact. When I use anything, I use things that like our paper that are biodegradable if I can. I use reusable bags at the grocery store. I try to eat whole organic foods as best as my ability that I can do for my own, economic, grade. Am I perfect? Do I do everything green? No, I don't. But I do try to play my part. And I think if all of us did that, we would have huge success in our environmental reversal of the damage that's been caused with the forest fires and all these, whether it be viruses or natural disasters, things of this nature. Okay. What happens when we become that enlightened, empowered part of ourselves? The shaman of tradition comes into play. And this is about creating a new tradition, a new way of thinking. The tradition, maybe even going back to the old traditions about honoring earth, honoring the space, living in harmony with earth and animals and ourselves. This is about not only returning to a tradition that is in alignment with God, but also creating a tradition that's new to us, especially in the last maybe say 100 years, because we're shifting and changing. Coming into a deep value of the human spirit, and then reshaping our world for a new tradition that is more sustainable for human life. Okay. When we do that, the spirit of initiation rather, comes into play. And this is about transformation, awakening, connecting with all, that we all have a connection. See, I mean, we're all connected, right? And how we can, as a collective species, come together and initiate change and reform and connection, tradition, empowerment, breaking the illusion, creating an environment and tribes that are of the same thought pattern about values, about systems, those kinds of things. When we do that, we get the spirit of wisdom. And that wisdom is, again, about understanding the wisdom of humanity and of earth. Okay? And then the final outcome is the shaman of the stars. And that is where we will have additional aid angelically, spiritually, and we will have the ability to reassess ourselves and redirect ourselves in a way that will mend and I'm reading a note, I'm sorry. Mend and reshape our world. And the wisdom is about progress through difficulty, accessing wisdom and facing doubts, and respect all people and creatures. And when we do that, then this shaman of the stars, we gain more aid, more intuition, more insight, maybe more information comes out, how we can save our planet, respect the ebb and flow of our planet, on top of respecting the ebb and flow of humanity and coming together in this unity. So my message here today, most importantly, is maybe more so coming away from the fear and doing things that will allow us to come together, and then doing our part environmentally. I am getting the message that this is about saving humanity. This is about environmentally saving our humanity, becoming one with not only everyone and every, us as a human, species, but also coming together and understanding that environmental issues must be faced now. And because they haven't been, I believe some of this panic that has come in will actually be to our favor on the environmental side of things. And I get the truth on that. Every time I've spoke about it, it's the truth. I think this is going to make a huge impact in doing some reversal damage on this environment. I don't know how long this is going to last. I do feel intuitively it's not going to last a very long time. I think it will start to subside. I'm feeling maybe a couple, 2 or 3 weeks max, and it'll start to subside. I'm not saying that it's going to be going away. I don't know that answer, but what I do know is I think some of this will subside to the degree that it will make a huge impact environmentally on us in a positive manner. And it will allow us as a human species to reevaluate where we're going. And this is going to create wonderful opportunities, jobs, and expansion. And I mean, this isn't going to ruin us. This is going to allow us to expand. And I'm feeling excited about it, quite frankly. I think this is going to shift our perspective, shift our consciousness into this wonderful growth and expansion. We're just going to change gears. It's just going to be a different way. We're going to be more environmentally creative. We're going to be more together and unified. We're going to see that this is something that has to be taken care of now, not later, not whenever, and so says. We have to do it now, and this is forcing us to do it. Again, I'm getting full body goosebumps. This is truth here. If it doesn't resonate with you, that's okay. If it does, share. I appreciate it. My goal here is to just share my own interpretation. And my goal also is to continue to do some YouTube videos, doing whether that's just basic astrology or what an empath is and how did I get here and what's my journey, and whatever divine wants me to share. That's what I'm here for. This is my soul's work, and this is simply to be doing my part in trying to unify us as a species, unify us as, light beings, and bring hope, peace, and love instead of fear, anger, and all those things. So, I just wanted to hop on here real quickly and just, share what I'm getting, and we'll see where it takes us, right? And let's see what happens. But I do feel that this is going to create a space that will allow us to actually grow, expand, and be more in alignment to what our existence is supposed to be versus what it is. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon. Blessed be.